Brought to you by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, this edition highlights key LinkedIn posts on social selling in weeks 45 and 46. Frennis supports enterprises with enablement and insights, providing data-driven sales intelligence, flexible support, team augmentation, and data quality improvements so social engagement turns into measurable pipeline.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is to really cut through the noise and synthesize the most impactful B2B social selling trends that we saw dominating LinkedIn over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We've noticed a definite, and I'd say rapid shift away from that old school, aggressive, cold outreach.
It's all moving toward trust, strategic relationships, and, well, employee empowerment.
Exactly.
I'd say it's more than a shift. It's a maturity curve. The sources we've gathered are from leading practitioners, from sales enablement experts, and they're basically providing the blueprints.
Right.
So we're going to still have things like, employee advocacy, content quality, and even just platform know-how are now deciding who gets seen and, more importantly, who's actually building pipeline. It's a shortcut to the modern sales floor, really.
That's it.
Okay, let's start with a foundational element, one that's moved from, let's say, a marketing tactic to a full-on organizational imperative. That's our first theme. Employee advocacy and corporate influencers. It's clear this isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's being framed as a critical HR and brand strategy.
And that framing is so important because it forces us to confront why these programs, why they so often fail.
Right.
Elena Ivanova put this brilliantly. She said, if your employee advocacy program isn't working, it's rarely a social media problem.
So it's not the tool.
It's almost never the tool. It's a company cultural problem.
Yeah.
Advocacy has to be earned, through trust and empowerment. You can't just mandate it or bribe people with prizes.
You can't force authenticity. That makes perfect sense. And that's the engine driving the rise of the corporate influencer, isn't it?
It is.
We saw Dominique Evanshuta and Jasmine Charlotte V both highlighting this pivot away from that single monolithic corporate voice.
Toward empowering individual employees to be authentic storytellers.
Brand ambassadors, basically. And when you humanize the brand with all those voices, the trust dividend is just huge.
Oh, it's massive. And the metrics prove it out. Maria DiMario noted the internal benefit. It strengthens team pride, confidence.
Which is great.
But it's the external commercial impact that really gets the C-suite's attention.
Okay, so give us an example of that. I think some of the stats we found linking advocacy to HR metrics were frankly shocking.
They absolutely connect. Vicky Ulaneci shared a case study where a focused employer branding strategy, which leans heavily on employee advocacy, managed to cut their costs per hire by a staggering 67%.
67%, wow.
And on top of that, employee referrals shot up to 47%.
Yeah.
So think about that. Your social activity is directly optimizing your talent acquisition funnel.
If I'm leading a sales team, that 67% reduction means my budget is freed up for something else. And Sarah Cheeseman, she kind of confirmed the why behind this, right?
She did.
People just trust staff members more than they trust an official company logo. It cuts through all that corporate skepticism.
But getting those kinds of metrics takes real commitment, not just, signing up for some vendor.
Sure.
Dan Phillips detailed the transformation at PMO. They realized the biggest friction point was the process itself.
The process was too clunky.
Exactly. So they co-developed an integration with Sprinklr to cut the employee sharing journey from, I think it was 11 complex steps.
Down to just 2 clicks.
2 clicks. And that simplicity resulted in an 875% boost in earned media value.
An incredible number.
It's a fundamental transformation, not just adoption. It required investment, but the return was massive.
And to wrap up that theme, Fox Tucker brought in the leadership angle. When leaders visibly engage with and amplify their team's posts.
Not just their own posts.
Right, their team's posts.
Right.
It boosts confidence, validates the effort, and just makes employees feel valued. So the big takeaway here is trust generates visibility, but that trust has to start internally.
Spot on, which is a perfect lead into our second theme. Relationship first, social selling, and outreach hygiene.
Okay.
This is the definitive rejection of that spam culture that's plagued LinkedIn for years.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Shaver and Justina Cisierska both insisted social selling has to be about genuine relationship building.
Rejecting the unsolicited cold pitch.
Completely. The core is warm, contextual outreach. But what does warm even mean in a world where everyone is trying to automate connection?
That's the key question. Tony J. Hughes had a powerful warning about that, didn't he?
He did. He gets bombarded with over 100 automated happy job anniversary messages. It just clogs his inbox and immediately flags the sender as inauthentic.
It's generic as garbage.
It has to have relevant context,
Then-
genuine value, not just some weak trigger.
Okay, so let's get tactical. James Huntsman also gave some great tips for DMs.
Yeah, his advice was to be ruthless. Keep DMs concise. He says anything near 400 words is guaranteed not to be read.
No one has time for that.
And critically, use casual human language, like a quick text message from '09. Ditch the formal signature. That small shift to being less professional actually signals more authenticity.
It makes you sound like a human being, not a marketing bot. And Leotisha Halou had a fascinating data point on follow-ups.
Right, from analyzing thousands of messages, she found that the follow-up, the reminder, often has more impact than the first message.
Really? Why is that?
It's not that the second message is better written. It's that perseverance shows you're serious. It builds trust and signals you're committed to a relationship, not just a quick sale.
And that commitment needs structure. Carolina Posma outlined a vital 4-layer approach.
Awareness, priority filtering, strategic outreach, and conversion. But she said the vast majority of sellers skip layer 2.
They skip the filtering, they're just broadcasting.
Precisely. And Posma found that sellers who focus their outreach only on profile viewers, people who've already checked them out, get a 12x higher response rate.
12 times. That's the difference between guessing and acting on actual intent.
And that idea of intent, it gets taken to a whole new level with Richard Vanderblum's signal stack method.
This is the really next level stuff.
It is. Top sellers aren't relying on one magic email. They're stacking signals tracking engagement, intent data, prospect activity. They engage before they reach out.
So they're orchestrating the whole thing.
And timing their messages for when the prospect is active. He measured this, and it resulted in 4.2 times more responses than isolated tactics.
Which brings us back to the core philosophy that Ima Hasevic summarized so well. Sellers have to build visibility first, engage where buyers are, and let the buyer decide their relevance before the outreach.
It's a truly warm funnel. You earn it. And this even applies to the connection request. Morgan J. Ingram actually suggested using blank connection requests.
That flies in the face of all the old advice.
It does, but it reinforces the relationship first idea. Let them accept you based on your credible profile, not on a pitch you crammed into the request.
Okay, so that's trust and hygiene. Let's move to theme 3, content, personal brand, and commercial alignment. This feels like the delivery mechanism for everything we've just discussed.
Absolutely. Personal branding is now a core marketing discipline, but it has to be, and this is the key phrase, commercially relevant.
And that's the reality check against vanity metrics.
Kimberly Myers showed this perfectly. She had a post get huge reach, 12,000 impressions, over 100 engagements. But you know how much pipeline it generated?
Let me guess, 0.
0. But then she followed it up with a hyper-targeted carousel post. Content designed to be actionable, downloadable. That one led to 149 saves and one inbound sequel worth $60,000 in ARR.
That's the difference between being interesting and being valuable. It's massive.
Quality and targeted alignment matter infinitely more than broad, untargeted reach.
And Kristen Gallucci stressed that you can't just post once a month and expect a $60,000 lead. Consistency is what builds that authority.
Right. You build that muscle memory for your audience. And Simon Schmitz advised picking a topic you can genuinely stick with. More importantly, he said to share your actual process.
The how, not just the what.
The messy parts, not just the wins. That vulnerability builds real trust.
And speaking of clarity, Dean Seddon had that great tip about the outsider's check on your profile.
Yeah, can a prospect land on your profile and instantly see what problem you solve, your approach, your successes? If they have to click around and read a dense bio to figure it out,
they're gone.
They're gone. Use the featured section. Use the services page. Make it friction-free. Your profile is your landing page. It has to convert.
We should also touch on the authenticity debate. What does be authentic actually mean? Alina Gladkova had some great evidence on this.
She did. She showed that content mixing professional insight with personal meaning performs best. Her top post was about finding love on LinkedIn alongside her professional wins.
Because people want to see the person behind the expertise.
They want human connection,
yeah,
not just a sanitized corporate expert.
And Alan Illich gave us that great framework for balancing all this. The gardening analogy.
Yes, you need reach planting new seeds, and you need trust watering the existing plants. If you only focus on reach and never build trust, the garden just withers.
It's the perfect way to think about it. Okay, that brings us to our final theme, the technical layer. Platform, product, and algorithm signals. This is where AI is changing the rules of the game.
And it's raising the bar for everyone. Terry Heath highlighted the massive shift with LinkedIn's new AI search.
This is already rolling out for premium users, right?
In the US, yes. And the implication is that the AI is rewarding profiles that clearly express value, problem solving, and outcomes. It's not about job titles anymore.
The old SEO tricks are dying.
They are. You have to rewrite your headline and about section to match how a buyer searches in plain English. So instead of senior sales consultant, you need to reflect a query like, someone to train my sales team on LinkedIn.
So you're literally teaching the AI what problems you solve for whom.
Exactly. And Chad Johnson's insights on the new 360 Brew algorithm reinforce this. He says the system now runs on language and reasoning. The old engagement hacks are becoming useless.
What does language and reasoning mean in practice?
It means the AI is reading your content like a peer review. It's judging clarity, storytelling, depth. It's smart enough to evaluate the substance now.
So you have to front load the value.
Your headline, your first sentence, they're critical. And you have to stay consistent. Posting random stuff confuses the AI and fragments your professional identity. It hurts your visibility.
And he added that gem about commenting, right?
Yes. Thoughtful, high-quality comments on niche posts actually teach the AI about your expertise level. It's a quiet way to build authority. But generic, low-effort replies weaken your profile.
So we have to talk about the social selling index, the SSI. Matt Jackson called it the LinkedIn equivalent of a credit score.
It's a great analogy. And Finn Witcherly noted that an SSI over 60 often separates the true practitioners from people who are just teaching outdated methods. It shows you've mastered the foundational behaviors.
And for those trying to boost that score, Mike Adam confirmed the long-form content advantage.
Yeah. Articles or newsletters. He found publishing 4 articles in a month can boost your SSI by up to 2 points.
Because depth drives authority.
And those assets have a longer lifespan. They feed into Google. They establish enduring expertise.
Okay, so we've covered culture, outreach hygiene, content strategy, and now the AI itself. It feels like the message is clear. Cold pitching is out. Deep contextual relationships are in.
And for a final provocative thought, let's tie it back to what Jeff Molander called high-status selling. It's all about tactical restraint.
Tactical restraint. That sounds counterintuitive in a world obsessed with engagement.
It means you avoid the urge to persuade. You let silence work. Molander suggests using diagnostic questions like, what happens if nothing changes?
That's not a closing line.
No, it's not designed for compliance. It invites the prospect to think critically about their own situation. You earn respect in conversations through confidence and absence, not by constantly chasing and convincing.
The seller who's least attached to convincing the buyer often wins the conversation. That's a powerful idea to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into social selling.
It was a pleasure to synthesize these critical insights for you.
If you enjoyed this edition, new deep dives drop every 2 weeks. We cover the entire B2B spectrum, so be sure to check out our other editions on account-based marketing, field marketing, channel marketing, MarTech, go-to-market, and AI in B2B marketing. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We'll catch you soon.